Hey, you guys, not so fast. Wait for me.
Hello everyone. So, I recently did a video called Sci-Fi September, and it was a video saying I'd done loads of book events over the last few months and I wanted to have a month free of book events just to concentrate on science fiction. Well, a book event is happening in September and I want to join in. So, I can actually join in on this while doing what I was originally doing in that video about September, when I was going to go back to some books I needed to read, that I wanted to read, that were vintage science fiction and that kind of thing. So I can incorporate that in joining in on this event. The event is Shorty September, and it's the third year of running Shorty September. It's an event that was invented by Bert from Past Storytime and Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd. And both really good channels, relatively new discoveries for me, and really good though. And the event is fantastic, and I'm going to link below the announcement video so you can watch the prompts and the ideas behind the prompts, because there's loads of really cool prompts, and the prompts are created by different types of shorts, as in clothes shorts. So it's quite funny, the prompts, where they come from. So it's a really cool announcement video that Bert made, and Heather's done the same thing as well. So yeah, definitely check those out. But I wanted to talk about what I'm going to do to try and get involved, to join in, and like big shout out to the Past Storytime channel, and the Soggy Expat Book Nerd channel, and also to Alice from Giant Bookshelf, because really it was Alice's video that made me think, yes, I'm going to do it. You know, and I met Alice as well recently, and it was really awesome and all that. So big shout out to Alice as well. So I'm going to get involved. Because I think it's quite cool. And to be fair, every single thing that I'm going to mention, even though I didn't mention it in that Sci-Fi September video, they're all books I really do want to read that have been on my immediate TBR. I've got so much on my immediate TBR I can chop and change all the time, and it would be still very authentic and absolutely genuine. So yeah, let's have a look at this. So I'm going to quickly mention some of the prompts that I'm bouncing off, because I don't think I read enough books to do all of the prompts anyway in a month. But there's things like unexpected purchase. So that's one of the prompts if you're going to read something that's unexpected purchase. There's also something set or written in the 70s and 80s. There's the half and half shorts, where you can read something and then watch a film version of either that or something tied to it. There's a modern classic. That's another example. A comfort read. So there's lots that I can draw from on this. There's what was the one that was the I can't remember why I don't know. I've got something over there and I don't know what it refers back to. But there's another one. Oh, historical fiction. That's another prompt. The origins of the prompts are brilliant. So watch these introductory videos. I'm not going to do an introductory video because that's the sort of thing co-host does. And I'm literally dipping in. I'd definitely like to be more involved next year, but I want to honour that first video that I made when I talked about the science fiction books I wanted to read. But some of those are in this video. So anyway, I'm kind of waffling a little bit. But the point is, Shorty September, short books. So for me, I'm trying to limit it to below 250 pages. So about 220, 230 as the normal break-off point. But there are some shorter ones. And there were some that were in that video, actually, that were just over 250. But anyway, I'll tell you what sort of stuff I'm looking at. So I'll cover the science fiction stuff quickly, because it refers back to other video. And I'll talk about some other stuff, some of the classics and that. So I did talk about Joanna Russ as the female man. And this is quite short. I really want to read this. And this was groundbreaking at the time. And it's Joanna Russ being very forward-thinking about gender and this is seen as a landmark piece of fiction on the exploration of gender. So definitely want to read The Female Man next month. I'm almost certain this is going to be one of the ones I read next month. So that would be seen as a modern classic in my mind. This Fuzzy Sapiens, so this is the sequel to Little Fuzzies, which I really liked. And it's quite an easy read, so I'm putting this in the category of comfort read, but because it's right up my street, and I'm really confident I'm going to like it. So Fuzzy Sapiens, the sequel to Little Fuzzies. So that's definitely still these are two that were featured in that video. So that's two I definitely want to read. There's actually one here which I bought. It was all wrapped up actually, and it was quite a nice find. It's got red pages, which is pretty cool, isn't it? But Gordon R. Dixon did a book that was about overpopulation. I'm not sure if it fits the. When was it written? This would have been written in the 70s, maybe. When was it written? First printing 63. No, not 70s. Doesn't fit that prompt. I don't know. But anyway, it's definitely a short book, so that's a possibility too. I didn't talk about that in the science fiction video I did, but that's a possibility. I love books about overpopulation. Any more science fiction stuff? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to move these other ones for a second. I'll get back to those. But there is The Gods of Mars, which the second Mars book. So I really enjoyed Princess of Mars. Did a special video about it. So check that out if you're interested. But I did a video about Princess of Mars, and this is the second book. And this is short enough to qualify. And it's also important enough to qualify for the classic, modern classic prompt as well. So there's that. And... right, I'm nearly at the non-science fiction. There's More Than Human by Theodore Sturgeon. So I've had this for a long time, and I read it a long time ago, but I was going to reread it, and I've been prompted by the fact that I've seen a few people recently discover it and read it themselves. And I was particularly intrigued by Crystal reading it, because she was reading it from the point of view of having a Down syndrome son, and there's a Down syndrome character in this. And my sister's got Down syndrome, and I do have first-hand experience with having Down syndrome in the family, which makes it interesting as well. And I read this well before I met my wife and didn't have a sister that had Down syndrome. So my perspective is different. But I'd like to read this now from that other perspective. But it is seen as a modern classic, so More Than Human I'd like to read as well, so that might happen. And that still goes into that science fiction thing. And I was going to buddy read this with Brandy from Booklectic, so hi to Brandy. And this would definitely fit for it's quite short, I think. Is it short? I think I should check it. Yeah, it's only 230 something pages, so it's all good. Fits into the prompts, and this would fit into the half and half shorts. So there we could find a sort of a Klingon original series episode to watch as well. So that could be a buddy read I could do, because I've got a few buddy reads I need to honour. So that's something that could happen. So there's that. Right, so there's a bunch of other stuff here that could be possibilities that have nothing to do with science fiction. So there's a prompt about the historical fiction, and this is a book called Hurdy-Gurdy that's set during the Black Death. So I think it's a comedy. It's about a monk, I think. Brother Diggory's life is about to change. The sickness is creeping ever closer, and the monks of his order must attend to the afflicted. He is about to meet the plague. What he doesn't realise is that encountering an illness and understanding it are two quite different things. An uproarious and uplifting novel about sickness and health, and how perhaps we're never quite as cutting edge as you might like to believe. So this is set in 1349. So this definitely fits with the historical novel prompt. This is the unexpected purchase prompt. So this is something that a lot of booktubers that went to London bought, and I mentioned it in the actually, are you going to see this? I've just done a book haul video, but I don't know if you're going to see that yet, because I might do this. I'll probably put this up quicker than that. So anyway, there's a little bit of time travel going on here. But this was a book that created a little bit of a buzz when I met up with a bunch of booktubers in London, and I wasn't expecting to buy this, but I just got like into the idea, and then Charlie Brooke from Charlie Brooke Reads Books said, let's buddy read it, and then a few other people, yeah, I'll do it as well. So there's a little bit of a moment on the day, so it's very cool. So yeah, that's likely to be read as well, and it fits the prompt, and it's definitely an unexpected purchase. So there's that one. And then this one I've talked about almost reading a couple of times, The Heart of a Dog by Bulgakov. And I've got Master and Margarita as well, which is longer. It doesn't fit into the prompt, but this fits into that prompt. And I know Master and Margarita is supposed to be his kind of main work, but I'm sure this is good. So this would be seen as a modern classic. So that fits into that prompt. So The Heart of a Dog. So I could read that, and it's very short actually. It's not even a bit short. It's just literally 130 pages. It's very short. So I could read that in one evening. Don't know. Depends on what evening it is, I guess. So another one that fits under the modern classics, James Baldwin's Giovannis Room. So I've said before on the channel that I wanted to explore James Baldwin much, and actually in that book haul video I show another one I've bought by James Baldwin, but this is one of the most recommended ones, one of the most applauded books by James Baldwin, and it's quite short, so it fits both the fact it's a modern classic and it's quite short. So Giovanni's Room, if you've read that, let me know whether you think that's a good way to start, because I've bought about 6 of his books, and I've only read one so far, and it's not like a proper book by him. It was like a hodgepodge of different things that he'd written. So yeah, is this a good way to get stuck into him properly? Let me know. But that could be a thing. Crime, Chester Himes. I bought Cotton Comes to Harlem, and I bought this because I just found it secondhand, and I knew that Chester Himes was important as a black voice in crime fiction. So I really wanted to get something by him, and I was really pleased to see it. But I don't know much about this specific book. So, have you read Cotton Comes to Harlem? There's a prompt. One of the prompts is referring to a mystery or a horror or something like that. So it would fit into that. And the mystery bit also fits into another hard case crime book. And this is by Ed McBain, called The Gutter and the Grave. And I have read an Ed McBain book now, because I read one for Garb August and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So I'm well up for reading more Ed McBain. So this could be also a book read for Shorty September, and it's very short. It's actually short in height as well. So what was it? 200. It's just over 200 pages. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to read that. So it could be that one. I wasn't going to start the Bukowski reread yet. I was going to do that next year. But I thought I could chuck this into TBR Post Office. Start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. And this is very short. Could read Post Office, and this is seen as a modern classic, so I could see that. So it could read that for that prompt. So yeah, maybe, or I might delay the Bukowski deep dive until after I've shown that video I've done about Bukowski and my relationship with Bukowski. I might wait until that's up before I start thinking about what to read. And then two last comments about what I might read. Also, Earthlings. I've got Earthlings, and it's been recommended a few times from different people, and this would work. There is a prompt for translated fiction as well. I think it's Lederhosen shorts or something. There's different short prompts, but yeah, I think those are the kinds of shorts I had for translated fiction. But yeah, this is really celebrated on BookTube, and I did get it out of the library about a year ago, and I don't think I read any of it before it had to be called back. But I've got it now, so I own this. I can't remember how I bought it. I think it was an Oxfam. Yeah, it must be an Oxfam. But anyway, oh no, it wasn't. No, if it was an Oxfam, it would be. Oh no, it might be. Whatever, wherever I got it from. I have this now, so I could read this for the event, and I wish I could think of why this is part of the... Okay, I've in my little notes, I've written next to the saga books, Lodge shorts. So I can't remember what the actual description that follows Lodge shorts, but it's something to do with age or old people or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've got book 1 and book 2, but I haven't read any of it yet. And this would be a good thing to read in September, especially as I did get book 3 out of the library, because I expected to like them, but I still haven't read them yet, and I should really give book 3 back to the library. So yeah, this is on my radar as well. So I could read the saga books. So this is science fiction as well. So again, going back to science fiction for September. So there we are, kind of full circle, full circle. Talking about saga there for a second. So yeah, some crime, some genuine sort of literary fiction in there, and lots of modern classics, some translated stuff. Oh, The Heart of a Dog fits translated fiction as well as the bookshop one, actually. So there's a few different translated fiction in there. Lots to choose from to add to the idea that I wanted to go back to sci-fi again. And I don't, after a month where you're just reading novelizations and celebrity books and things that you're not expecting to like, there's all of that stuff I'm expecting to like. So it's quite exciting from that point of view. It should be a good month for reading. But what do you think out of that lot? So do you think Shorty September is a good idea? Do you think I'm a little bit crazy for putting up a video saying I need an event-free September, and then I'll jump on about a week later and go, wow, actually, there's this thing, right? Because it is a little bit crazy. So do you think that's the case? Should I not have DOMO? I'm calling it DOMO, not FOMO, because it's not really a fear of missing out. I'm not scared of it. It's a dislike of missing out. That's what DOMO would be, wouldn't it? DOMO. Dislike of missing out. Anyway, what do you think? What would you want to read out that lot? What would you not want to read? No, don't tell me what you don't want to read. Tell me what you would like to read out that lot. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Paint me a picture of what it's like to